Yes. Just a few more minutes before we start. I've actually muted all of you right now, but that's the wrong thing to do. I wanted to ask you people some questions to begin with, because that's relating to today's topic. And so let me unmute. Got it. Yes. Okay. I wanted to have a chat with a few of you. So let's talk to you. So today's topic is taking everything personally. And why do we take things personally? And then what happens when we take things personally? So I just wanted to talk to a few of you. But before we do that, oh my God, how can I forget my ritual, which is of hello, everybody. And hi, Anita and Anu and Anupama, Aparna, Aruna, Dipali. Hi, Gaurav. Hi, Gitanjali. Hi, Hina, Ilika. iPhones, hello to you. And Jaya, Mahinderji, Namaskar, Manjari, and Dipali, and Nalini, and Avneet, and Poos. So many of the Poos are here. Preeti, Ritika, Rachna. Hello, everybody. Sandeep, Ruchi. Ruchi is the one I want to talk to. Hi, Reshma. Hi, Sameer. Hi, Shifa, Shiraz, Shubhra, Soumya, and many of you who are still joining. Hi, Sudhakar, and hi, Supu. Yes, your names. Suparna's like, where's my name? Where's my name?
Hey, Marks.
Telling my name right now. Okay. All right then. Wonderful. Okay. So here we go. So we've got something. Oh God. Now, as soon as I say I'm unmuting people, people are starting to discuss chai over here. Can everybody please stay muted? I'm not here to keep muting everybody, but yeah, जिसको भी चाय पीनी है वो आराम से पिए, सिर्फ ये ध्यान रखें कि फोन अनम्यूट पे ना हो, and the rest of you just enjoy your chai. All right, so anyway, so hello and warm welcome to all of you. And this topic was suggested, by a few people, but it resonates with everybody. It's a topic that, so many times when something is happening, we tend to take things personally, when even something is happening outside. And then so many times when people are saying things to us, people say, don't take it so personally, don't take it so personally. But even while they are saying that don't take it personally, at the same time, we are taking it very, very personally. So what does it do and how does it impact us? And that's how look at it from the energy perspective. What is it that we are looking at when we take things personally? When somebody else is being praised, do we take it personally? No. Then we take it very non-personally, because somebody else is being praised. How can I take it personally? But when somebody else is, being demeaned, sometimes is being insulted or something, then we take it very personally. Then we take it very personally that, oh my God, this person is like this and the whole world is like this. How can this happen? It could happen to us also. I have also been through this. We suddenly take everything very, very personally. So let's just begin this conversation with, I wanted to start off with Ruchi. Hi, Ruchi.
Hi, me. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Good.
So I just wanted to basically ask, where is it that you find the most that you are resonating with a frequency when somebody says, don't take it personally, or even otherwise, when somebody doesn't say, don't take it personally, but you take it personally? When does it happen? When does it normally happen? I'm going to pick up on a few of you just so that, we cover all aspects of it. You take things personally. When do you normally take things personally? Just give me one or two examples and we'll talk through it.
So me, for example, I think I take feedback. Like lately, I have begun to learn cooking, and I make something, and my dad, who generally just adores me, if he gives honest feedback on my cooking.
Yes.
I think I take it very personally. I don't have the.
So when you take it personally, when you take this personally, what happens?
I think in my head, dignity is a big thing. So I feel that I feel insulted very easily.
Yes, you hit it right on the head. You feel insulted every time you take something personally. This is the one thing that happens, that we take things very, very personally. We take things very, in a very insulting way. We take things personally. When somebody is praising us, by the way, it happens on the opposite end as well. When somebody praises something about us, we just go, no, no, no. It's not so much me. It's just, aaj to khana acha ban gaya because, aaj galti se acha ban gaya, something. Then we don't take things so personally. When somebody goes out of the way to praise us, are you taking those things equally personally when somebody praises you? I wish to know.
I think I'm a little more balanced there. It's not always that I
Balance. Oh,
dismiss.
the word we use is balance. Yes,
I mean,
yes.
I don't always dismiss compliments. Sometimes I'm able to accept them. But yeah,
Sometimes. Yes, yes.
sometimes I think it's a fluke. I hit the mark by fluke.
Yes. So sometimes we are able to accept the compliments, but we're always able to accept the insults. Always
Yes.
able to
Yeah.
accept the
In
insults.
fact, too receptive. Imagining insults where there are none.
How beautiful. Okay, wonderful. We'll get to it, but I just want to talk to a few more people. So let's talk to Prince. Hi, Prince. How are you?
Hi, Meenal.
Hey, what's up?
Well, everything is going well.
Wonderful. And so I just wanted to talk to a few people. And so I said, let's talk to, whoever's around and somebody who might have a view on taking things personally. So I
Let me
want to
understand
know
that.
what your experience so far has been and what makes you take things personally.
Actually, I don't want to take things personally, but I end up taking them personally, because I'm an actor, I'm a
Yeah.
creative person. My performances
Yeah.
are something. When I keep commitments and other people change their commitments for whatever reason, I tend to take it personally.
Yeah.
When somebody is considering me for certain roles, but I eventually don't end up getting them,
Yes.
there's like a little void that I feel inside of me. And
Yeah.
I know there are many factors playing the parts. I can clearly understand that if I was in their place,
Yes.
I would have so many considerations कि एक आदमी को खुश करना या एक आदमी की feelings को consider करना will not be an important thing. And yet, despite understanding it, what
Yes.
happens in the feelings is something that
It's
I
two
find
different things.
that are two different things.
Wonderful, wonderful. So in your case, when we are talking about taking things personally, it feels like you are so closely tied in to who you are, to your identity, that
Yeah.
whenever something comes to shake that identity or something comes to challenge that identity,
Yeah.
again, you feel insulted, or insulted is not the word really
I
over
feel
here.
threatened. I feel threatened.
Okay, you feel threatened. Yeah.
There is a fear that arises. Even
Yes.
below my anger, I know that there is this either the rejection or the fear
Yes.
that's operating.
The word I was looking for was rejection. It
Yeah.
wasn't so much insult, but it was rejection, that
Yeah.
you feel so much rejection from something that's happening outside.
Yeah.
All of this, so beautiful. Is there anybody else who wants to share their experience of, taking things personally and how it impacts you? Is there anybody else who would like to talk about it?
Me, can I add just
Me,
one
I
thing?
would.
Yes. And sorry, who is that? There are two people.
Seema.
Yeah, sure. Just a second. Let's ask Ruchi. Ruchi wants to add something and then we'll talk to Seema.
Yeah, me, I just had this strong urge to tell you since afternoon that whatever you are going to teach us about dignity, I wanted to just also share my observation that I feel this whole concept of dignity has served me well many a times in my life. It's saved me from messes that could have grown bigger. I
Okay.
just had this one thing to tell.
Okay. So your attachment to your dignity has helped you.
At times, not
Yeah.
always, but at times.
That's okay. It has
Yes.
helped you at times, and you could have been in a bigger mess than you are in right now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right then. Okay, that makes some kind of sense from that perspective. So let's talk to Seema. Yes, Seema.
मेरा तो ये like biggest issue है बचपन से I think.
Yes.
But this one, so I posted in the group also. In fact, this week, somebody at work who's almost like a mentor to me mentioned this, pulled me aside. We were in a three-way conversation with my boss and him. He was
Yes.
in the room, and he could see the change in me and the anger and underlying, blame and insult I was feeling in the
Yes.
conversation. He pulled me
Yes.
aside and he said, why are you taking it personally? You are
Yes.
you are defining yourself with your work.
Yes.
It's almost as if like you set up this webinar for, for
I
me
set
to
up this
help.
webinar, not my doing, but I always run short of topics because I say, the same topics. This is also going to be the same topic. However, people just want to kind of get some more information or to be able to kind of look at it from the energy perspective as I'm speaking it. But otherwise, I'm going to come back to the very same things over and over again. We have something on the chat as well. So I'm going to look at the chat, and Mika says, taking things personally means identifying with what others are saying about you. Yes, or the world, right? Same like criticism, positive or not. Being oversensitive, then I do too. Okay, do you want to share? Yes, Niyati wants to share. Come on, Niyati, let's hear it from you.
Yeah, I take things personally when my husband tells me anything. So
Yeah.
anything and everything comes here.
Okay.
Second thing is another perspective of taking things personally is when somebody is in pain or they need help or something. And they
Yeah.
tell me, when they share it with me, I
Yes.
feel it is my own problem.
Yes.
And I, start helping them with all my weapons and Ozar, whatever I have.
Yes.
So I
yes,
take
yes.
things personally like that too.
Wonderful, wonderful. So here is another aspect, that of an empath when we take everything personally, but everything as in not the things that are going well with the world, but everything in the world that could be going wrong, all of the people who need help. I have to take everything personally and help from that space. There is that saying also, walk in somebody else's shoes for a mile. And that would be taking things totally personally. You don't have their shoes, but still you want to walk in them for a mile, and that would be taking things personally from their side. So we've got a few aspects. Megha, do you want to add to this?
Yes, Ma. So for me, it happens when I feel somebody has not been as sensitive as I have been, and it creates a lot of hurt. But it has
Yes.
really, really changed after I started, practicing what you teach. But it still is there in some scenarios. Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so from this space, we have these few different points of view. Sometimes we are so attached to our identity that, if anybody says anything, and that's how we identify ourselves in that moment. So, for example, Prince talked about being an actor, and Ruchi talked about, not being a cook, but in that moment, she's a cook, and then somebody is pointing a finger. But in that moment, the assumed identity being that of a chef, and that's not working out too well, and somebody says something about you, or actually something about your cooking. And then there it is, you are all upset about it. When something is happening at work, maybe you are a leader of the team, and then it's an entire larger issue being discussed or something like that. But then you start to take everything personally as if everything is being spoken to you only. And all of that criticism is now taken at a personal level. And the one thing that you feel, that you will feel again and again, when you take things personally, the one thing that you will feel again and again for sure is hurt and rejection. Hurt and rejection. And that's where, that's where we are going to put our finger on today's webinar for. Prince also pointed out that it threatens him. Underneath that rejection, there is also a threat that is felt. Just a second, give me a minute. I don't know why I'm still signed into something. Okay. And then over here on the chat, I'm also finding another note from Gitanjali. Same like the role of a mother, for example, any role we are attached to, and then the criticism we can't handle. Of course, we can't handle because we've become too attached to a role. We have totally identified ourselves in the body space in that minute. Ruchi made an amazing point that it has helped me, being attached to a personality, taking things personally, getting hurt, removing ourselves from the situation, but in a lot of anger, rejection, hurt. Lot of anger, rejection, hurt, and then we remove ourselves from the situation. And then, of course, we will, with the logic that we have in the limited body, we will justify it to say, oh, it didn't hurt me as much as it might have. Guess what? Now, when I look at everything just from the plain energy space, the hurt energy has come to play. The rejection energy has come to play. When does this happen? When does this happen? I tell people, well, attachments, everybody knows this line by heart. Attachments have a link to expectations, have a link to hurt, and that's what it is. Right now, what is it that we are attached to? We are attached to the role. Outside any role that we become attached to, and that attachment itself will limit us to this body. It will limit us to this body. Limit us to the body for what? It will limit us to the body so that we can have body experiences. We can have body experiences of fear. We can have body experiences of hurt, body experiences of rejection. As Ruchi even said, it could have been a much larger mess. Well, here's the wonderful thing. You think that larger mess was avoided because you did something from hurt and rejection. A larger mess was avoided. Whatever that larger mess was going to be, from what we have understood about energies till now, at least this is my understanding, this is what has worked for me, this is what I teach to all of you, that whatever energy we have collected, it will definitely play out in bigger ways and greater ways. So you might think that from a particular situation, in a situation, oh, I was able to cut my relationship over here, I was able to get away, oh my God, it hurt me, but it could have been much bigger. Well, the hurt frequency, you simply took and you collected, and it's now sitting with you. It's sitting with you. And then whenever the opportunity arises for you to be sitting in more hurt frequencies, it is going to happen. It will happen at each of the times. It doesn't matter whether it's the same actor or it's another actor. This notion in our head that things have gotten much worse or things could have gotten much worse, but by choosing to walk away, yes, but you walked away physically. You didn't walk away from that energy field. You didn't walk away. Just a second. Who else is now on unmute? I'm just going to see who is on unmute. This is quite an exercise on this particular computer, as I don't understand. Okay, Leela needs to be unmuted. Muted, sorry. Okay, done. So anyways, so as we were saying, as I look at all of you, and even to my own experiences that happened, till I didn't understand energy. I was what you would call a very, very, you have these ambitious, no nonsense kind of personalities. They're called type A personality. Yeah, I was that. And I took everything, not just my, one aspect of my life, but I took everything personally, everything very personally. If I was at work, I had that perfectionist attitude. And if something went wrong, when somebody would point out a mistake at me, they would beat me up once. I would beat myself up 5 times for the same thing. When my journey began into all of the energy space, and Mani described to me the word perfection itself. Because when we want to be perfect at something, then we are going to keep experiencing hurt and rejection, only because we have now got an expectation and a huge attachment to an outcome. And that outcome looks like perfection to us. But that outcome is only going to create experiences for us in certain energy frequencies. Every topic that I take up is just simply that all of these are experiences. And these experiences are being created by some drama outside. There is going to be an event outside that will create an experience for you. If your experience has to be of hurt frequency, if your energy is today asking for that frequency to play out, if that's the frequency that you are tuned into today, you will have to experience hurt by simply being in a situation where all of these boxes are ticked: attachments, expectations, outcomes. And those 3 in a mix will create the hurt frequency for you, will create the rejection frequency for you. Rejection, when we get rejection, what do we feel? Extremely hurt and sad. So when we identify too much with our role, whether the role of a wife or a boss or a mother, whatever, or an actor, whatever the role, so beautiful that in an actor space, you are actually, you are acting in so many different places, in so many different play. And yet through all of that, you identify to one role, and that is of an actor, of a general actor. But even otherwise, can you even imagine, Prince, because he's an actor, can you imagine that you are part of a big script and everything, and you have a role in it, and then you get so attached to the role that when your script is over, you just don't want to leave? What will happen? What will happen in that place when that script is over, when you have played your part, when everything is done and you don't want to leave? Well, you will be kicked out. You will be kicked out. You will feel the hurt. You will feel the rejection, but the job is over. Now turn it around to look at the energy space. In our energy space, we have given roles to others and we have taken roles for ourselves. And these roles are simply meant to give us experiences. I was just, noting the other day, a role of an actor. I have many actors around and people who are in the acting space. And I was just looking at it. Who would choose the role of an actor? Who would choose? What is their energy? The ones that would choose the role of an actor. People think that, oh, with an actor, you get so much of, you get so much appreciation. And then you only have 3 or 4 people around you that you look at. You will look at a Shah Rukh Khan, you will look at an Aamir Khan or somebody and say, that's the kind of appreciation, that's the kind of adulation. But when I look at each of these people in that same role that they are playing, It's not about appreciation. I was just looking at how each of these large, big names, and now at least we get to hear about it, each of them go into depression, go into so much sadness, go into depression. And why is that? Because the role itself is steeped in external validation. External validation, because you do something that's the best of your capability and that's the best you can do of anything. And yet, if nobody appreciates it outside, you are going to feel hurt and rejected like no one else. And so when I look at these roles and I say, oh my God, it's not all about self-love that you would choose the role of an actor. Actually, it might be quite the contrary, that you have so much of need for external validation, that energy of hurt wants to play so much again and again, that you are choosing a lifetime role that needs an external validation at all times. It holds true for many professions. And yet, you know, the actor example is the best one, only because even when I talk about life itself, we say all are simply actors. I am an actor in your story and you are an actor in my story. But if I start to take my role so seriously, so I come over here every Saturday and I simply speak, you know. Now tomorrow, if I want to say, oh, the speaking is not good enough, I want that, you know, today, if 50 people are listening, tomorrow that number should go up to 100. At least 100 should appreciate me. And then, you know, the next week after that, I want at least 1,000 to appreciate me. After all, I'm coming over here. I'm doing all of this for you. If I'm doing all of this for you, and if I start to take my role too personally, in 3 weeks, I will be in depression. I will be, because sometimes there'll be 50 people, sometimes there'll be 40, sometimes there'll be nobody. And then what am I doing? Who am I speaking for? My whole life then seems completely, you know, what is the point of doing this? What is the point of doing this when nobody is appreciating? And so then we become too tied into the role, whether it's the role of a cook. Again, what is the point of cooking if there is nobody appreciating? What is the point of acting if there is nobody appreciating how much soul I put into each of my jobs? Nobody appreciating. Can somebody see where this is going to? Well, when the finger comes back over here, the only thing that we understand, who is that nobody that is not appreciating enough of this? Who is that person that's not appreciating enough? This is the person that's not appreciating enough. You are, you know, the only thing, the only place where we look outside for validations again and again, and then open ourselves to this, is when we are not in love with ourselves. That's it. It's a very small thing that we haven't given enough love to ourselves. And so an outside person, who actually, by the way, doesn't exist, an outside person will give us something, to feel upset and hurt about, and there will be rejection that will hurt us like crazy. Prince has raised his hands. Yes, Prince, let's talk to you.
Yeah, so there are many a times when you give these perspectives and something comes undone in my head and I feel liberated from that. So I just wanted to add something to whatever the perspective that you were giving me.
Yes, please.
My rejection has very little to do with people appreciating my performance. I think I am my best appreciator. That I am sorted with. But every time I go for a role, I go for an audition, I go for a meeting, and the outcome is not as per my desire.
Yes.
Even though I understand things, yet the impact that I feel in my heart, in my solar plexus,
I understand that.
It's like somebody is punching me. So that's what I wanted your perspective on.
Wonderful. So I'll tell you this, that even though you understand it, there is one thing which is knowledge, and we understand many things, right? There is one thing which is knowledge. However, the other thing is the frequency that we have tuned into, the frequency that we have tuned into. Very quickly, when you are going, I'm just going to kind of take it up again, because the frequency that you have tuned into is hurt. And you say that you have an expectation and an attachment to an outcome. You just said it, and I just covered it, right? The attachment to the outcome, I should get this role. This must happen. That must be the outcome that I'm looking for. The minute you are looking at a future event in an outcome form, the link very much to it, and this is all about my webinar on expectations and attachments and the outcome being to hurt frequency. And the hurt frequency, how to put a balm on the hurt frequency. When you are sitting in hurt and rejection, what is the balm for the hurt frequency? It is self-love. It is unconditional self-love. And so the answer that I will give to you will still be the same. Even though you're saying, oh, I love myself and I love my role as an actor and I love my acting and all of that. Again, your appreciation might be for the kind of actor that you are, but the actor itself is just a role that you have picked up in the body. Your love to yourself, to be unconditional, comes from this space, whether I do this or I don't do this, whether ever I act or I never act, whether I succeed or I never succeed, I love myself. That is unconditional. It's not about being appreciative of your own performance, because your performance itself is a very tiny part of this life. You are energy and you are very tied in to this role of an actor. And so from that space, hurt will arise. Every time somebody does not validate that role in a manner that you wanted validated. If a role doesn't come to you, if you're feeling hurt, if you're feeling sad, the only balm that I understand, that I know of, is to say, whether I get this role or I don't get this role, I love myself. Whether I do this or I don't do this, I love myself. I am awesome. And so from that space where you come to your place of energy, the energy instead of hurt. So, when somebody says something and you take it personally to your own, you are taking it personally, you are not liking that, you are getting, as somebody said, rejected, you are getting insulted. All of these are tied to body experience. In energy, when we look at the same thing. So yesterday, for example, something happened and I had a fight. I had a fight with someone, and there was a full fight, and there were things said on that side and there was things said on this side. And when I finished with the fight, I didn't stop myself in the fight. As the fight was happening, I was taking everything personally as much as I can. I don't take much personally, but as much as I can. But I could see that the responses were coming. As the responses were coming and I finished all of that, I quickly checked inside to see, am I feeling something for the fight? Am I still feeling, am I feeling agitated? Am I feeling worked up? Am I feeling irritated? Why did this happen? And when I checked inside, it was completely calm. When such a story happens and you are able to look inside and feel the peace, I understand that the outside story had to be created to create experiences, just simply experiences. And as an outside experience happens, we don't try to stop that experience. We simply check within to see, what am I feeling? If I was to take that fight very personally, I would still feel the agitation, the anger, the insult, the whole 9 yards of that anger frequency. But when I check within, I do not feel that, because even as the anger is happening, there is a part of me that is sitting and analyzing, saying, okay, I'm tuned into the anger frequency now. Let's see where this is going. I'm tuned into the anger frequency. Anger frequency would sometimes lead me earlier to sadness, but I catch it at anger frequency itself, and I see where this is going. But as soon as I'm able to observe the anger frequency in the moment itself, it goes nowhere. It cannot go anywhere because that whole, that whole event has been observed from the energy perspective. It might be that my anger and those responses were needed to create an experience for the other as well. But as soon as I finished, I looked at everything. I gave that other a lot of love. I gave that other a lot of love, saying, this is what the play had to be today. And this is simply a play. And there was nothing in the heart. The heart was empty of that anger that I had just felt a minute ago. Now, taking the same scenario and say, when somebody says something to you and you are feeling insulted, in that moment, instead of focusing on the words that were said or the outcome that has been created, in the case of a cook not being appreciated, some words were said, and in the other case, there is an outcome that has been created. Instead of looking at the outcome created or at the words that have been said, what if you were to look within to see what exactly in your frequency has come for a play? That is your frequency that is asking. And you know what? This is a repeat thing. This is going to be a repeat pattern, especially because hurt is always created, most of the times, and in case of, for example, the cook not getting appreciation, I can say that when hurt is created, it is from people who have to be very close to you, because only those people can hurt. If somebody said something to you, you wouldn't feel so hurt. But when somebody who's very close to you or somebody who normally appreciates you picks up an opposite end and gives you the hurt frequency experience, that's when you will feel the rejection. That's how you will feel the hurt frequency. It has to be. In the other case, it's not about a person that's close to you, but it's an outcome which is extremely close to you. You are holding to that outcome, and that close attachment to that outcome is creating the hurt frequency in you. You will have to look at the outcome and say, okay, not the outcome, but I'm going to right now focus on the energy that I'm creating through this event again and again. Each of these events, when they get created on the outside again and again, what happens to us is the same frequency, even more deeper. Reshma has raised her hand, so let's talk to Reshma. Hi, Reshma.
Yeah, hi, Meenal.
Yes.
So I wanted to, when somebody says anything, I actually have never taken things very personally. In the sense, I frankly don't care much about it. But for some strange reason, the same person talking about certain people, it can be even an actor I like, or it can be somebody else that I feel a little bad about it. I don't think I take it personally, but I do feel maybe that person, like say, somebody in the family, let's say. So I just feel that, and it doesn't have to be my side or anybody's side. I just feel that there might be the other side to that person which is not being looked into. So what is this,
when you are feeling bad for the other person, you're walking in some other person's shoes. That's the role of an empath, that you're walking in somebody, you haven't looked at the other side. There might be an other side to something and you haven't. So when you are being an empath, or when you are putting yourself in somebody else's shoes and feeling bad for them, a third person, you're talking about somebody, they're talking about somebody, and now a third person is being criticized or whatever it is, and now you feel bad. What is this feeling of bad about? Are you feeling agitation? Are you feeling hurt? Again, are you feeling hurt for them? Because empaths, so many times, so many people come to me and say, oh, I am an empath and I feel pain for everyone. And you're actually not feeling the pain for somebody else. It's your frequency of pain that you are tuning into. It's your own frequency. If I'm not signed into a channel, I cannot play that channel. But if I'm signed into any channel, and then through any other tool, through any of the topic, the question to always consider would only be one. And that would be, what am I feeling? What am I feeling? And only that can give you an idea of what is your, what is your response? Why are you feeling hurt for a third party? So it is your feeling of hurt. It is your feeling of rejection that is being, you're saying, I really don't care. If you don't care when the tool is about you, it seems like you care enough when the tool becomes a third person, that the trigger, trigger, it's just about a trigger. Your own name might not trigger you, but somebody else's name has become a trigger for you to evoke an emotion. And just as I was saying in the previous time, that instead of looking at the outside, whether the event or the words being said or the outcome that has been achieved, we simply want to look at the frequency that we keep coming into again and again when something like this happens. So the only, so I would ask you, so what is it that you are feeling?
I just feel sometimes that
you're feeling bad, sad, angry, agitated, frustrated,
not angry,
irritated.
agitated, but yeah, I just feel that, supposing somebody says something, then I just feel that, that is unwarranted because that is not the complete truth. That's how I would look at it. Like, that's, so I don't even know whether I feel very bad, but I do feel, that I'm feeling that the whole scenario that's not how it is, because that way.
Yeah, nothing is ever the complete truth. That's the truth. That nothing is ever the complete truth. If this side, there is so much of injustice being done to that person because the full truth is not being heard or something or the other, then take a look. It's only when injustice is done someplace, what is it that you feel? If you are feeling helpless, if you are feeling irritated, if you're feeling agitated, then it's not about that person. It's still your helplessness that is creating. I'm just using a very, very strong word called helplessness. But, that person is not here to defend themselves, and they are not here to tell us both sides of the story.
Yes, correct.
But the fun part is that it is still agitation, and helplessness has so many degrees, but it is our frequency that we look into, because it is always I don't feel bad when somebody criticizes me, but I don't like to hear criticism about others. And then again, it is the same story, but the trigger is different. The trigger is not your name. The trigger is another name, but it is still the emotion that is created is in us, then the work is on us. If you feel bad every time, the bad could be the word bad is a very open-ended word, because some days bad could be angry, some days bad could be sad, some days bad could be, the feeling of injustice and therefore helplessness. So when you say, I just feel bad, just take a look at what it is that you're feeling on that day. What am I feeling? So classify your bad a little bit. That's the frequency that you're tuning in. And if it's just for fun and it's only for a few minutes, it's okay. But sometimes when we sit
it is normally for just a minute or something.
Sometimes we sit, and this happens again and again and again and again. And then, we are simply collecting. Even if you're collecting a little bit of agitation, we're just simply collecting, not looking within. And then we have a habit of kind of, making a large amount of it, and then suddenly it bursts on us. And they're like, what, how did this happen? But it really is this. It really is this, that the frequencies, when we take something personally, the frequencies are of hurt and rejection. And the easy balm that I understand to be for hurt and rejection, even as you're rejecting somebody else, or somebody else is being rejected and you're feeling bad, the easiest way to look at it is towards self-love. Anyways, I'm going to talk to Kalpana. Kalpana wants to say something.
You mentioned that only people who are close to us can make us take things personally. But when my energy pot was really, really full, then any sadak chalta aadmi, any era gera could make me take things. I walk into a shop, shopkeeper talks to me in a rude tone of voice, and this whole thing of rejection, insult, humiliation, hurt would come up. Now that the energy pot is emptied, what I realized is that what's so funny.
I can only just imagine, like, you just walk on the road and, I'm feeling hurt by this and I'm so angry with that. And I'm so irritated with that.
Yeah, I was really there. But
Quite
now
cute.
that energy pot mein work hua, then
Huh.
I got this experience 2 days ago where again I went into this taking it personally. My
Yeah.
husband was supposed to come with me with the doctor. He was late. That is his pattern. Then I
Hello.
went. Yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, your voice went away for a little bit.
Okay. So what I realized was I went into old stories.
Yeah.
And because of the work done here, I realized, oh my God, I've gone into ancient history, old stories. And because I realized that, I was able to work on the feelings and therefore not act from them. And at the end of it, I was able to say, even if he's late, he's made the effort, he's here. And so those feelings shifted to gratitude.
So beautiful. So amazing. Totally amazing. Wow.
But
But again, that
all this work,
yes.
I would have been stuck and he would have made the effort and I would have said, you bastard.
So amazing. So beautiful. So, but that was the whole point, again, just even to kind of come back on that topic, the only one thing that the one thing that you have done majorly is work on yourself, is self-love. And
Absolutely.
that is why, as you love yourself more and more, the outside outcomes and the ability to get so totally shaken up by the outside outcomes, you just simply stop observing them and the finger comes back within much more easier and with love to the other. So I want to actually talk to Prince again. Hi, Prince. So I want to talk to you to actually figure out, with this answer on the love, not just about your performance, but love unconditional, whether it's related to performance or no performance at all. How do you understand self-love for yourself?
Yeah, I understand self-love as tuning into my highest frequency. Whenever I become aware of it, that I'm tuning into any lower frequencies, or any lower frequencies begin to play within me. Lower or higher, this is just a relative term. I don't mean like wo
Yes.
achhi hain aur ye buri hain.
Yes.
But I am also noticing that I have programs in my head which
Yes.
take me there. So right now, when you gave the perspective of, I was the one who said, I want a particular outcome, but it wasn't, the light bulb was not going on in my head. But the moment you said you have attachment to outcome, suddenly the light bulb went on. हाँ यार, ये तो है, ये तो मुझे मालूम है. लेकिन वो awareness कभी नहीं आती है. And because of that lack of awareness, I remain stuck in, why is this happening to me? I deserve this, but I'm not getting it. And then I remind myself, see, the universe is playing in your favor. But there's a part of me which says, लेकिन फिर कब होगा? Forgetting that I'm attached to a particular outcome to tune into my abundance. I am tuning into some kind of a lack.
But that's your core frequency. So when you say I tune, because I'm sitting and receiving. So when you say I tune into my highest frequency, your higher frequency is lack with awareness. Okay, because the
Oh.
degree of awareness tells us whether it's a high frequency or a low frequency. It's not about two different qualities of frequencies. Are you understanding? So when I am feeling abundant, but I have no clue that this is abundance, because, you know, for example, my energy was of abundance even when I came to play on earth. It was of abundance even before I became familiar with it. Okay. So I came with the frequency of abundance, and you know, I always say I'm so thankful कि मैं lack का काम कहीं पे करके आई होंगी. I must have done that work at some other, in some other place, in some other birth, that I came with the frequency of abundance to play with abundance. And that is why I'm told that go share your frequency with others. But before my journey started of sharing my frequency, and that's why that sentence of yours, you know, it just totally took me there. Before, I used to tell people, come into Meenal's energies. I had got guidance to say to people, go into your highest frequencies. Be in your highest frequencies. I drop my mind, I'm from the heart, I am in my highest frequencies. So people who've been with me from many, many years, when my journey started and I used to conduct these workshops, the lines were, I drop my mind and I'm in my highest frequency. Then a couple of years passed, and then came this, you know, I went to Calcutta, and then I had my experiences with Ramakrishna. And then after that, when I came back from there, these new lines came that you will tune people into your frequency. Now, as soon as that happened, my first reaction was of a lot of judgment towards the self, because I said, why? Why should I tell people to tune into my frequency? Everyone is Shiva. So why should I tell people to tune into my frequency? That sentence is so good. You know, you are tuned into your highest frequencies, and I'm tuned into, and everybody can tune into their own highest frequencies. And at that time, the understanding that was given to me is, look at the grid. Okay, there's an entire grid. The awareness decides which frequency. So if you are in a higher state of awareness with abundance, now the abundance is of a higher frequency. If you're in a higher state of awareness and lack is your frequency, you are in a higher state of your own lack frequency. That's a higher frequency of your own lack frequency. It's just an experience. So neither is lack to be shunned, nor is abundance the better thing or whatever. It's just an experience. However, when we are in the body and when we tend to sit in lack, that's the kind of question we'll keep asking. But when will this happening? Why is this not happening? I'm tired of waiting. Like, you know, I mean, I'm so much better. But this but is simply, it's not even about when will it happen, but the very fact that these questions are there means that the frequency, the underlying frequency, is simply of lack. And it's so when I was, well, that's an old story, but in 2017, when all of this happened, and when I was told in 2017 that, okay, now you will put people into your frequency. And I said, but why? And then I was explained the grid, saying everybody, even when they've come into the higher awareness of their own frequency, now their awareness is matched to yours, but they're still sitting on another coordinate and therefore experiencing that coordinate.
Yeah.
But because your frequency is of abundance, they can just simply move to that coordinate. It's like, you know, from one coordinate to another, from one place to another, but it's ease of moving if it's within the same frequency band of awareness. So that's when the whole understanding of abundance came to me, that okay, that this frequency. And then I said, okay, but why not earlier? Because my frequency also needed to become more aware of what it was. I was unaware that my frequency was abundance and how this plays out. But once I became aware of the energy play, then the lines shifted to say, okay, now just simply call people on your coordinate. In that coordinate, what will happen? Will you get every role that is signed out for you? No, you might still get the same results. However, the heart will feel the abundance instead of feeling the lack. The heart will be, array, this is so awesome. I had such an amazing experience at the, at the audition, and that guy was so good and we had so much fun, because that comes, the moment of masti is even more deepened in the frequency of abundance. So the same thing, because ultimately it's inside first and then outside. So the inside first, you are now sitting in a high state of awareness. You are doing so much work on yourself. You are sitting in a higher state of awareness, but the awareness of your frequency, the highest frequency of yours. So that still the experiences belong to lag, but lag is again the experience. So whenever you feel like shifting it, it's just a coordinate. And so you can say, I take energy from Meenal, because that's the coordinate. And for you, because you are sitting in lag, there is that separation, that my energy versus Meenal energy. But when you are sitting in abundance, every frequency belongs to you. You are in the knowing that Meenal frequency is as much mine to take. And so there is no separation when you are sitting in the frequency of masti. The lack experience is the mind experience. The abundance experience is the heart experience. So the awareness defines, when you said the word higher frequency, lower frequency, actually you are sitting in higher frequency, because the awareness is there, the inner work is happening, you've been doing it. But the defining coordinate is simply just lack. Yeah. So when you take on, I'll tell you this one story. It's just a funny story, but this is all about shifting of coordinates. So when my journey had just begun, and Om Mani was a chant that appeared, but it still hadn't caught on to me, because money in my head was very solidly a father that I had, and then that father is not there. So that program that, but money must be like a lower frequency, and Shiva is the bigger frequency. Okay. So I went through all of this. That's why now I have so many answers to everything. So I went like, हाँ मणि तो बाप ही था मेरा, तो लेकिन कितना ही तो हाई फ्रीक्वेंसी रही होगी, तो we'll keep trying Shiva. So if and when things would happen to me, and the Om Namah Shiva chant, Mani had only given me when he was in my life as a father. He had at one point in time said, not one point in time, 100 points in time, he said, I will go early, I will go. मैं चलते चलते जाऊंगा और मैं जाऊंगा. जब मैं जाऊंगा किसी और के सामने मत जाना. तुम anytime you need something, you just sit in front of Shiva. Okay, and that's the only place you ask for things. And that had become our core mantra even before all of this awareness happened, So I would be sitting, but then money appeared after, as this journey started, and money appeared, and then, but I was still all about Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. And then I noticed that whenever I do Om Namah Shivaya, see, Shiva is a frequency of non-judgment. Okay, so Shiva doesn't care what kind of a body experience you go through. So as soon as I would do Om Namah Shivaya, like all hell would break loose, and like everything would go completely ballistic. And then from there, the answer would come. But everything would go totally crazy around for me, because Shiva is, and then it, one day I was like, but yeah, Ram se bhi to bata sakte the. Like why you have to go and like give me such an experience that main pura hill jaun, and now I have to be like, and now you're giving me the answer. And the answer came, yeah, because Shiva doesn't care. It's the frequency of non-judgment. So there's no judgment as to what experience your body will have, what you will feel, whatever. Okay, let's give this full experience. There's no judging involved in the experience. So that, and then when I would do Om Mani, Om Mani, Om Mani is the father frequency. So one step at a time, how much I can handle. It's like a father holding the hand. And that's when I was like, oh my God. So frequency coordinates, they're just frequency coordinates, whether it's Shiva or it's Meenal or it's Prince or it's anybody or money. They are frequency coordinates. Which coordinate am I going to go and sit in is a choice. But what we do is when we are sitting in the mind, we create so much separation. And that's where, again, on an energy level, it's about taking things personally. Your coordinate, you're taking so bloody personally. Even in the energy, your coordinate, you're taking personally. Your name, you are taking personally. And it's not personal. It's just an experience. And so you have all of these choices and you can move from one choice to another. It's just a choice. So to understand energies as energies and not as a person, not as a point, not as an experience that we are married to, not as, we have the whole plate, whatever is the dish, we just, take the entire dish, may say, whatever it is that is suiting us. Okay. All right, then. So here we are, with one long story, but I just wanted to kind of make sure that it was understood that when we take things personally, it is that we have placed ourselves at a dot, at a point, at a coordinate. Whether that coordinate is what we call a name, or that coordinate is what we call that energy of hurt and rejection. And we do not have to stay to that place. We don't have to stick to that place. We are not married to that frequency. We can tune in. But when you next time take things so personally, understand that you are using your choices to experience a hurt frequency. You are using all your choices to experience the rejection frequency. And if you are experiencing all of that, the work is on self-love. The work is on self-love, to give yourself so much love and without an end outcome in mind. I'm working so hard, my dish should be coming out well. I'm working so hard, my role should be coming out so well. And that working so hard, whether it's in energies or it's in the physical aspect of it, you only do clearing of your energy field. You empty your energy field. You don't go in with outcomes as to what an energy field should look like, has to look like. You cannot dictate that. What you can do is simply keep looking at all of those places. Oops, my battery is getting low. All right, I'll take a minute to come back and attach my power cord to it. Okay, then. All right. Okay. All right, everyone. So anybody has any more comments to make about this topic? This topic is actually simply all about love. So many of our topics are all about self-love. They simply point towards self-love. And so many places we don't understand that the work is on self-love. We don't understand where we are lacking, where we haven't done something. We are a Shiva, just simply here in the experiences of a human. So when we keep that in mind, what experience am I creating for myself in this moment? And then can I go back to understanding that I, the Shiva, created that experience? Okay, everyone, let's get to some meditation. Is there anything on chat that I need to look at as unfair to the other person? Yes, we kind of talked about that. So Soumya says, when someone brings out your emotions to look into, but you feel it's about you and that they don't like you, anger and resentment comes out there. Not just anger and resentment. Again, when someone brings out your emotion, somebody has to bring out your emotions. Otherwise, how will the emotions come out? Some actor, some story has to come out on the outside so that you can experience your emotions. It's always about that. It'll always be somebody else who will bring out some emotions on you. It'll be an event or a person, but it will always be someone who has to create a story with you, without you, but somebody who's going to trigger you. And all of those roles are given by your energy field. It's your energy field at play. When they don't like you, that's perfect. When they don't like you, what are you feeling? And that's what you have to work on. That is the part, again, more and more, only self-love. And you know what? We work on our self-love. We work so much on self-love that the outside starts to give us love. And then again, we stop looking from here, and we again start to look from here. And what happens? Again, we think, oh, they are giving us so much love. There is no one that is giving us so much love. There is no one that is taking away so much love. It is simply a reflection of how much we love ourselves. So if you are sitting and feeling, oh, they don't love, fine then, they don't love because you don't love. They are not loving because I am not loving to myself. And that's the only verdict, that's the final verdict that I can bring you to. That if somebody says to you that I don't love you, it's not about them. It's about you not loving yourself and them simply showing it. And you feel like, oh, you want to look at them, that's fine. There is a whole webinar I have on blame and on, the fingers pointing outside and all of that. But then that's not energy work. So if you wish to do energy work, it will have to be starting from the point that this finger is looking this way. That's all that I can speak about the energy work. All right then. Okay. Okay, everybody. A deep breath in and exhale. And today, I want you to look at this role that you have in this body, and the one role that you are attached to. The one role that you are attached to. It might be your professional role, it might be your role as a parent, your role as a sister, but take a look at one of those roles that you are attached to. And keep your heart centered, but think about that role. That this is the role that I identify with the most. Whether it's a parent or it's a daughter, and if there are a couple roles that are fighting with each other to be a number one position, well, keep both the roles in mind. So take a deep breath in and center yourself in the heart. I am the heart. I am the heart. I am the heart. I have a mind, and my mind follows the heart. I have thoughts in my mind, but my mind follows the heart. I have programs. I have programs that I believe in, but now my mind follows the heart. I have many beliefs. I don't even know how many, but I have many beliefs that are in the mind, but now my mind follows the heart. The mind follows the heart. My heart frequencies are of faith and surrender. My heart frequencies are of love and masti. The mind thinks many things, identifies with many roles, but in this moment, now, my mind follows the heart. Put your hand on the heart, and as you take your next deep breath, feel your heart expand. Feel your heart expand. These heart frequencies of love and masti, of faith and surrender. I surrendered to money, so I can almost see him there in my heart. But whoever you surrender to, simply see that in the heart and feel the expansion. Just feel the expansion through the next breath. Whoever you are surrendered to, let them occupy the entire place in your heart. And if it's money that you are surrendered to, then Om Mani, Om Mani, Om Mani, Om Mani, Om Mani. With every breath in, feel your heart expand this chant. Om Mani, Om Mani, Om Mani, Om Mani, Om Mani. And your mind follows the heart. And so your mind is completely empty right now. And the only chant that you can hear, that you can see, that you can taste, that you can feel, the only chant is the one that's in your heart. Keep expanding, till you can no longer feel any thought coming in, no other beliefs except for this one chant. The entire body is just simply filled with this chant. Feel your hands. Feel this chant in your body. From the face, simply your breath is chanting this one that you are surrendered to. Om Mani, Om Mani, Om Mani, Om Mani. your chest, your body, your limbs, your legs, every place. Feel this chant. It is clearing all your old beliefs, all the old systems, all your old programs. It is simply clearing them with love. With love. Everything that you had so far has served its purpose. And now that the mind follows the heart, so far the heart followed the mind. And it was the mind frequencies at play. But now you allow this larger I allows the heart to lead and the mind to follow. And the heart is filled with love, love for the self. And now the rest of the body is filled with love, love for the self. Everything else is quiet. There is no thoughts except for this chant. Your whole body is vibrating at the sound, at the vibration of this chant. Om Mani, Om Mani, Om Mani. The frequency of guidance, the guidance frequency that sits in your heart right now. It's sitting in your heart and it's your frequency of guidance. There is no money outside in this moment. Money is in your heart, occupying that space in your heart as your frequency. And the whole of your body is vibrating at the surrender frequency, at the guidance frequency. At this point, all the roles that you have, the roles that belong to this body, they are all completely melted, dissolved. That one role that you thought of, in this moment, whoever that person is, whatever that role is towards, simply bring back to the heart and surrender here. Surrender your role. Whether it's your profession, surrender. Surrender to your heart. Surrender to money. Surrender to the Father frequency. Surrender to guidance. If it's another person that the role is towards, surrender. Surrender that person and you surrender your role. Letting go of all the fears that are the mind frequency, of all the attachments that lead to those fears, the mind frequencies. And right now, in this moment, your mind follows your heart. Experience the love, the unconditional love in this moment as you have this one-on-one connect with the Father frequency, the guidance frequency, your Guru frequency, the God frequency in your heart. This is your one-on-one connect with your frequency of the heart. I am Shiva. I am Mani. I am Kali. I am Durga. I am Jesus and Nanak. I am Allah. I am every divine there is. I am the divine. I am the divine when I'm connected to the heart. And in this moment, I am completely connected to the heart. And I allow my mind to constantly tap into the heart frequencies. The mind follows the heart. The mind follows the heart. The mind follows the heart. Om Mani, Om Mani, Om Mani. Okay, everyone. Lots and lots of love.
Bye.
You. Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you, Mimi.